But right now, again, we are back for the third set, for the final set of this BO3 series between Divine Resin versus Lafu Kabi, where we can see 1-1 is the score. It's a tie right now, and watch a tiebreaker. Yep, it's the third set, a final set for both these sides, a do or die for both these sides, a match point for both these sides. Let's see. The first band will be a Fedrin once again. Maybe those pretty same bands, Franco, Jukshin, Fedrin, all will be in the ban list, but in the picking list, that's a big question. What are we gonna see, Sarah?
Yes, thank you, Ash, for that throw. And honestly, this time around, I can only imagine one thing going on in Divine Regime's voice chats at the moment. Like, अबे उसको 4 years ban करते, one trick है, ऐसा कुछ, like something like that has to be going on in there, because Reaper, he did such an amazing job on that hero. He does have the Supreme title as well, and DREG be like, we don't care. You are a one trick. We are going to ban that from you. So this time around as well, Lafu Kabi does play seriously and stick to their Fredrin bans, but they also ban out Peekaboo's Leslie this time around. But they still don't know Peekaboo's secret weapon, though the 1-1 is quite open in the draft. And Divine Regime also denies the Matilda pick coming in.
Yep, and you know what? I feel like Leslie ban was not needed. You could have gone for the counter rather than banning her out. A lot of heroes are open at this point. Maybe a Bakshia could have been in the ban list, or maybe a Dragon as well, because Dragon is too much these days. So they could have been gone for that, but it's a lame trade, I can say, from Lafukabi, but it's okay. Maybe they're thinking something else in their mind. They have some analysts onto their mind to tackle the divine rhythm, so therefore they went for that. But right now, the last ban in this first banning phase, Lafu Kabi, will it be the Jukshin or a Badang? What could it be? It's a big question. It's a Badang. I got right, Mikey.
Yeah, it is the Badang. Badang can be quite problematic because of the fist break of his, the second skill that brings out a crowd controlling wall. And yeah, it can be annoying at times because you can combine it with the flicker, and it can be a good skill to ambush as well. And the damage output from his is quite good as well. We can see the Selena getting banned from side of Divine Regime, and yeah, Selena is pretty good. She can also give out visions to her teammates along with long-lasting crowd controls. But yeah, we won't be seeing her in this one. Lahukabi going in with the first pick. What can it be? What can it be? There are a few options open, and if they want, they can focus on the marksmen, I'd say. But if they want, they can focus on the EXPs as well. Yuzong is still open. We can see the Arlot as well, which is pretty good in my opinion in the current patch, but we haven't seen him around much. But yeah, we're seeing the Kimi getting picked. Maybe it will go in the mid lane again. What do you think, Sarah?
Yes, I think it will be Zozo once more on the Kimi, but that does mean DREG gets the green signal to lock in onto the 1-1 this time around. I'm really curious to see if Peekaboo actually flex picks that, or are they going to return Brendan to the goal this time around and stick to the original role selection that they have done for the side of DREG?
Yep, and I feel like Kalea could be picked as well because she's open right now and she can be a big help towards any side she goes because she has the crowd control, she has the heal as well. She's a perfect roam material, we can say. But nobody is picking her up yet. In the previous two matches, we haven't seen the Kalea pick, although we saw her in the ban list. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna see a Roger in the jungle
Oh,
and a Rafaela as well. The two new meta will be seen in this match. This could be a legendary match from Divine Resin. They are not taking it easy. They are taking it in a fiery way. Let's see how it goes for them. But Lafukabi will be answering it back as well by the Kalea or the Lucas coming up. Or maybe we're gonna see Alucard today.
an Alucard?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
can
think
be.
so. I don't think so. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the Roger being picked up. He did get a good buff, but we haven't seen him still now. But let's see what the Roger can do on this one. Rafaela's revamped passive that is available right now that can respawn teammates might not be that effective in the early game, but from the mid to late game, when the respawn time is too much, it can do wonders at that moment. And I think Divine Regime will have a big advantage because of it if they're able to utilize it properly. From the side of Lafu Kabi, they will go for the next two picks. They have some options. If they're going for the gold lane, they can go for the Bruno, I guess. If they want, they can also go for the Wan, the Moskov, but they didn't go for any of that. We can see the Edith and Lapu Lapu getting picked. Lapu Lapu is wonderful. The bravest fighter is a good initiator. Along with the flicker, it can cover up a lot of range, and the damage output from him is pretty good. And when it comes to Edith, she can deal a good amount of damage, a good amount of range she has, and she can do both physical and magical damage. So that is effective in early to mid game situations when it comes to team fights.
The reason God is here. It's a Uranus pick coming out from Divine Rhythm. They will be going with that Uranus towards the EXP against a Lapu Lapu, and it will be helping them a lot because we all know that Uranus is something. He's a monster in the EXP because you hit him, he will get risen. You don't hit him, he will also get risen. So that's why he's a monster. But Moscow ban is kind of I'm in dilemma. I mean, Leslie may be the thing. They banned the Leslie. They don't. Therefore, Divine Rhythm answer it with the Moscow ban. But right now, second banning phase cooking up. So I think Lafu Kabi will be banning those roams again this time because a lot of roams are open. Maybe a Kalea will be in the ban list.
Honestly, yeah, I do agree with that. The Kalia, but then again, yeah, it is. Oh, actually, none of those teams should be having the need to ban the Kalia, because they have the Edith and the Lapu for the side of Lafu Kabi, and Divine Regive has Uranus as well as Raphael. I'm quite curious to see how those heals really play out for the side of DREG. And this time, they ban out on the 1-1 themselves, just not wanting Moon Knight to pick up on any of his comfort heroes. The Moskov is gone, the Granger is gone, the 1-1 is gone. What is left is just very simple marksmen, probably the Harathon towards the goal, but they do require a bit more skill level, and we will have to see how Moon Knight actually decides to play out on that role. And this time around, Farsa has been banned out by the side of Lafu Kabe. So, Peekaboo, he needs to strategize well onto which mid lane he actually wants, while Brendan, he still does have the Irithel in his favor to be picked up.
Not the Pug boss to be in the ban list when Roger being there, Rafaela being there. It's not a good choice. I will not. I'm not happy with that Granger Forza ban. Maybe Granger ban was a right to point, but Forza not needed at this point. Maybe Farsa was never the pick in this match. Maybe they can go for the stun because they don't have a stun right now. Xavier could have been the one for the Divine Rhythm, but as Sarah mentioned about the Irithel, it will be there against I don't know whom. Maybe the Kimi in the goal, or maybe they can go with the Harith right now. Harith being open, Trinity, Meta, still in the search of their meta-ness, we can say. But not sure about it. A lot of meta heroes are here right now. New meta, you can say. They can go with the Bruno as well against Erithel, but it will not work the way it should work. A carry could have been a choice, but due to the short range against Erithel, it will not work as well. Mikey, what are your thoughts on it? Who will be into the side of Lafukabi at this point?
For the side of Lafu Kabi, they can use the edit as a roamer on their end. They can go let the Lapu Lapu in the EXP. They will need a jungler for sure, but they are going to be, it's going to be against Roger. So you'll need a bulky hero. Never mind me, they're going with the Joy. The Joy has a decent amount of damage, but he does lack sustainability. But that covers up a little bit because of his mobility that he has. We can see the Tyrael can pick from Lafu Kabi as well. The Joy, I am not sure how good it will be. It will work out on this one, but let's see if the Joy is focused on the squishy targets early on. I think there is a possibility if there is some goal gap. But yeah, Roger can actually sustain in team fights. He can do a lot of things, but I'm not sure. Let's see what they can do. The Vexana got picked from the side of Divine Regime. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ash.
I was saying it will actually works great for that Joy, because look at that side. Nobody is there to counter the Joy. Nobody is there to catch up the Joy. They don't have a crowd controller. They don't have some stun other than the Vexana. Vexana, how much? Eternal Guardian, second skill. That's it. What's else for her? If she will not manage to catch the Joy, nobody will manage to catch the Joy. Even the Roger will be, I mean, less fatal against the Joy. But right now, about the MM, I want to ask this to Sarah. Kimi in the goal or Edith in the goal. What's your thought on this?
Judging the fact that it's Lafu Kabi, I am very confident that it's going to be Edith on towards the goal. They can just pull that off, because Kimi mid, Zozo has played that, and I do not think that any lineup would actually be willing to play Edith on towards the mid lane. So obviously, Edith goal sounds a bit more reasonable at least.
Okay, this is interesting right now for Divine Rhythm as well as Lafu Kabi, because both of the drafts is not an easy looking draft. They are going for the meta. These drafts from the side of Lafu Kabi, they are with the normal one. But right now, heading into the Land of Dawn for the last and the final set between Lafu Kabi versus Divine Rhythm, where the score is 1-1. It's a tiebreaker match. Let's see who will be having their win victory towards the home and who will be going without anything with their hand. So casters, please take on the game number 3, the last one.
Already in the top lane, we can see a bit of a skirmish going on. Lapu Lapu is dealing a bit of damage, but we can see the first blood being secured. Uranus was taken down in the process, and the kill was secured by Edith. Already in the top lane, Iritel is trying to keep up a good amount of distance, but also being aggressive enough to poke about the damage that Lapu Lapu took. We can see Hectic is trying to be a bit cheeky in the mid lane. He just went in, tried to do a bit of crowd control, but it didn't work out. But let's see what the overall things goes. The early situation is quite aggressive compared to the previous round, because the previous round was quite passive compared to this one. Sarah.
Is honestly, once again, I am very, very confused about the draft itself. Like, we predicted that the Edith could be a goal, but the Lapu in the goal lane, that is going to be one heck of a full damage beast Lapu. But look at once again, the turtle absolutely Raren getting scouted by Zozo out there and melted in just mere seconds as Shinigami secures the first turtle without any issues. Tries to go in for Peekaboo with those beats, but will not find the rhythm properly to try and get the kill. But on towards the side of the REG, they have sent Brendan to roam, and Spiro is the one on towards the goal lane. This is just absolute madness at the moment.
For sure, we can see that Romcom is trying to deal a bit of damage on Edith, and Reaper is trying to retreat. Hectic is down to give out about a bit of backup, but we can see the Roger diving in as well. Edith tried the crowd control on him, Implosion being used, but will go to waste. Parsa will get the kill off Reaper in this situation. Hectic should retreat because he doesn't have anyone to give out the damage that they need. Right now, the early situation is the kill score is 2-1. Lafu Kabi secured 2 kills, whereas Divine Regime secured 1. The goal difference is not that much, but still the lead goes to the side of Lafu Kabi. They have about 2 to 300 goals lead, and if they are able to snowball it, they can utilize it, I guess. In the top lane, we can see a fight breaking out. We can see the electrifying beats being played out by Joy, but he will retreat from that situation because he was outnumbered. The crowd control was a bit of a problem for him, and yeah, if he was if the crowd control wasn't there, he could have actually dived in to go for Irithel or maybe Vexana, but it didn't work out. But yeah, he was able to survive from that, and that's what matters, Sarah.
Yep. And honestly, at this point, I do feel like that the late game potential is could be handed over to more to the side of Divine Regime, because they have the Irithel who will be jumping around everywhere with, practically speaking, only the Tigreal or the Edith to catch her. And she can easily counter them because she has the Purify, and if she makes up the Rose Gold, even the Joy wouldn't be much of a threat to her. Meanwhile, on the side of Lafu Kabi though, the Joy needs to be very, very skillful with those dashes if he does not want to be caught by with the CC coming in from the Rafaela as well as the Alexander. Look at that, the Terrify comes in, and but he does manage to immune it with its ultimate, but will not manage to find any damage because DREG just decides to split out from that position and regroup back together while trying to find a fight near the turtle.
Absolutely. We can see a skirmish going on over here. Edith is in a low HP, but let's see what he can do. Joy was taken down by Roger. High possibility for the side of Divine Regime to get the turtle right now. In the top lane, Lapu goes in with his ultimate and got the kill as well. We can see that right now it is a 3-for-1 trade, and the trade is in favor of Divine Regime. Right now, Roger is trying to focus on the turtle right now. Kimmy is still going in. Romcom dies in, gets a good aggression out, and got the kill of Kimmy as well. The turtle goes to the side of Divine Regime. The overall fight was in their favor, and right now they have been able to, snowball the gold, and they're in about 1,500 goals, 1.5k goals lead. And I think that's a pretty good lead they have in 5.5 minutes, Sarah.
Yep, and Romcom honestly on that EXP lane, he looks so much more relaxed and he is being able to make the plays which he actually wants to make as an EXP laner. But then again, on towards the top side though, it's a Lapu who managed to find the first turret, because that is just absolutely absurd. Because Irithel, she could have taken advantage of Lapu's immobility. Like, he has a slow movement speed, but it is going to be the Irithel who did not find the turret, and the Lapu did. On towards the bot side, the Romcom just having fun with that little regen, baited the entire ultimate of Edith as well as Tigreal, while the rest of the team provided backup. Okay, now I see how the Lapu found, the turret. He's just been split pushing all this while.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we can see that Lapu was pretty aggressive in his lane, and he was forcing the lanes as much as he could. And already we can see the tier 2 turret going down in the top lane for the side of Divine Regime. And yeah, it's quite tough to go against a fighter like that when you're a marksman yourself. So let's see what happens in the bottom lane. We can see Shinigami goes in. We can see the electronic beats being used, but it's a Uranus after all. With that amount of regen, it's going to be a bit of a problem to take him down. Already he took out so much damage, but still we can see he's almost got his whole HP back. In the bottom lane's River, the turtle will spawn in about 5 seconds or so. And let's see who gets this one. Right now the slight lead it is for the side of Divine Regime, but when it comes to turret, obviously it's Lafu Kabi, since they secured the tier 2 in the top lane. Again, from the side of Divine Regime, they are focusing on the turtle right now. Edith went in, tried to get a bit of vision, but got outnumbered and retreated. That's the right thing to do in particular situation. The side of Lafu Kabi, they are trying to engage over here. Roja was able to get the turtle in the process, but we can see Implosion being used by Tigreal. He went in, but he should retreat. Kizozo is in a bad situation, is a pretty low HP, might be taken down in the process. Edith is giving as much backup as he can, but Romcom was taken down in the process. Raren, on the other hand, is trying to deal up a bit of damage on Moon Knight, but Moon Knight, let's see if he can survive or not. But no killing spree for Roja, and already Uranus was respawned by Rafaela. Sarah.
Yep, and that is the advantage that I was talking about. You can have a 4v4, but the Rafaela is going to make a 4v5 instantly. But look at Romcom sidestepping the knockups, coming in by the Edith Joy, trying to deal as much damage as possible. The Romcom is technically tanking all of it, but then again, as the game is scaling, even Raren is going to be reaching a power spike. I mean, I am pretty sure he has gone in for the Trinity build against 3 tanky picks from the side of Lafu Kabi. And even here, Zozo, he did try to get some damage out, but Pikapu will be taken down by Shinigami, but he will also be taken down again by Spearow as well as Romcom as an answer. On towards the backside, Ren comes in, tries to go in with the Lycan Pound, will not find it. Zozo with that immaculate positioning just behind Reaper, and Reaper provided the perfect front line as much as possible. A complete turnaround of events, as we can see, Mikey.
Oh, absolutely, I thought Roger would directly go for Zozo, but yeah, the Reaper actually did a good thing to give the stay in the front lane and give enough backup for Zozo to be in a safe zone. Right now, we can see that Zozo is trying to be as much aggressive as he can, but he's also keeping a fair amount of distance so that he doesn't actually fall prey to any of the ambushes. The Lord has spawned in the bottom lane's river, and let's see who gets this one. The Lord, high possibility for Divine Regime, I'd say, since they have the gold lead. And if Lafu Kabi does go for the Lord, it shouldn't be a team fight. It should be a Lord steal, I'd say. But let's see what happens. Romcom in a bad situation, got cornered out, trying to retreat, but will be taken out by Shinigami. Already, we can see that Peekaboo was trying to poke up a bit, but Moonlight was taken down in the top lane by Roger. We can see Hectic, who is in a bad situation, was taken down by Spiro. And with that, Reaper is trying to retreat as well because he has taken up a lot of damage. But Zozo took out Rafaela, no one to respawn right now with that passive. Reaper was taken up by Raren. Again, a double kill by secured by Raren. We can see the electrifying beats being used by Shinigami, but yeah, he retreated in a very spectacular manner. Raren dived in, but the turret damage was too much, so he retreated. I think right now is the right time for Divine Regime to go for the Lord. There won't be any kind of competitions. And yeah, let's see with this Lord what they can do.
Yep, and this time around, I feel Raren did manage to redeem himself from the previous mishap. And look at him, though. I did tell you about the Trinity build, and that is why he is going to be melting down even a Tigreal at this point. And Team Lafu Kabi needs some really good strategy if they want to come back from this situation, because at the moment, they are simply going to get poked and melted by every single one of the members of Divine Regime, including the Uranus and the Vexana, who are going to be dealing a lot of damage. But look at Romcom, he's just zoning people out so very far. Does get caught out by the Aether this time and takes the turret damage and finally will fall prey. Rafaela does manage to get some amount of damage onto her, but Moon Knight tries to go into the bravest fighter but will be taken out right away. Then he finds one kill, but double kill for Spiro right there on the Iritel. And this time around, there two people are down for the side of Team Lafu Kabi. It's a 3v3, the perfect situation, and if Rafaela does manage to resurrect someone, possibly Raren, since he still has a 50-second timer. But look at that! Oh my god, the 20-second timer, and Spiro here almost finds Shinigami, doesn't manage to secure the kill. But then again, Team Lafu Kabi might just manage to defend this successfully.
It was possible because it was a 3v3 situation, I believe, and yeah, there wasn't enough initiators or damage dealers from the side of Divine Regime. Irithel did have a possibility to go after Joy, but as I said earlier, the mobility actually covers up for the lack of durability he has. And right now, the situation is quite skirmished. I can't actually say what's going to happen right now. The overall goal lead is for the side of Lafu Kabi. Sorry, Divine Regime, but they also have when it comes to the turret lead as Divine Regime, but teamfight compatibility is a little bit better for Lafu Kabi. We can already see Rafaela being taken down. Joy was taken by Roger in the process. We can see Romcom is going aggressive a bit. Hectic is trying to retreat. So is Reaper. Use the ultimate to give about a bit of distance in the process. Romcom is going really aggressive, but it might be a backshot of we can see the Hectic was taken down in the process. Romcom is still surviving with that amount of HP on his hand. It is a Uranus after all. But if Tigreal was able to hold on to him in the bottom lane inhibitor, that could have been his end. Right now we can see Romcom in the bad situation again. He's going aggressive, but this time he was taken out by Zozo. Because the Edith and the Lafu, both of them had good amount of crowd controls. We can see Uranus being respawned again by Rafaela. Spiro was able to deal a lot of damage on Reaper, but Reaper survived. Sarah.
Yep, and like I mentioned, it's just the beginning of the late game right now. Only at the 14-minute mark, and from here on, it's just going to be a smooth sailing for Spiro as well as Raren, as long as they can position themselves safely. The Tigreal has used up on the conceal, will try to look for something. Misses the implosion on simply anyone. Raren finds the retribution successfully onto his lord. The entirety of Team Lafu Kabi will try to return back to their bases to recover the loss which they just had. They gave away the Lord, they gave away one member from their team, and now DREG has the perfect lead that they could ask for.
Alright, alright. Right now we can see the Lord is for the side of Divine Regime. They will try to utilize it as much as they can. Maybe they'll be able to get the inhibitors. The top lane's inhibitor will be taken down most probably. Not sure about the bottom lane, but there's a high possibility for the mid lane's inhibitor to fall down. Romcom is just annoying as much as he can with the Uranus, to be frank. And he's just diving in, poking around, but we can see how much of a damage Irithel has. Took down Joy in the top lane. We can see the inhibitor is in pretty low HP, but still holding on to it. We can see Implosion being used by Hectic, but he was taken down by another Peekaboo. A lot of damage coming out from Irithel in the process. The mid lane's inhibitor was taken down. The base might be locked by the side of Divine Regime, but they still have three of Lafu Kabi's teammates to lock onto. The base is being locked by Irithel, but the minion wave is not strong enough. Still now, Zozo was taken by Romcom. The base is being locked. The minion pressure is a lot. And with that being said, Divine Regime won the third round and also this match.
Absolutely stunning gameplay coming in by the side of DREG this time. They were like, if we can win against you when we have switched up the roles and are simply just playing for fun, we can also win against you when we are actually playing serious, and that is exactly what they showcased in the last match. They did switch up on the roles, but that was very good gameplay coming in by the side of DREG, especially by Raren, who did play out on the buffed Roger and